This woman was in bondage. She had been bleeding for 12 years. I can just imagine how awful that must have felt. And then when she was bleeding, she was separated from society. They wouldn't even let her come around normal people because of the blood flowing constantly in her body. So she was isolated. And then she went to doctors. She went to philosophers. She went everywhere. She spent all of her money trying to get herself healed. Now, I want you to just stop and think about this. How many of you been in a situation where you were isolated, were going through something, felt like you were in bondage, couldn't get out, and just felt trapped, whether it was spiritually, mentally, physically, or even in poverty, even struggling in business, even in relationships? But something very special happened. It's that she heard about Jesus. And the word said when you hear about Christ, faith comes into your heart. And at that moment, when she heard about Jesus, how did she hear about Jesus? She heard he was casting out demons, laying hands on the sick, and they were healed, taking 5 loaves, 2 fish, and feeding 20,000, walking on the water, turning nature around, turning time around. And when she heard this, she got enough faith and confidence to break out of her situation. See, it was unlawful for her to go back into society. But she broke out anyway. I want you to know something, brothers and sisters. Somebody out there right now is in a situation where you need a breakthrough. Whether it's sickness, whether it's finances, whether it's your family, your children, doesn't make any difference. Need a breakthrough. How many of y'all out there need a breakthrough right at this moment? Well, I want you to pay close attention to what this woman does, because God is telling you that that's what you're going to have to do with your situation that's got you in bondage. She broke out. And she found Jesus. And she said something, and this shows as a person thinketh in their heart and speak out of their mouth, they're going to have what you say. She said, if I could just touch the hem of his garment, not the whole garment, just the hem of his garment. And they said she was going through the crowds trying to get to Jesus. Now I want you to understand something. Everybody in the crowd was trying to get to Jesus, but they were being still. Everybody in the crowd had some kind of problem, whether it was financial, whether it was sickness, whether it was famines, whatever it was, had some kind of problem. But they just wasn't hungry enough to push their way through the crowd. So I can just imagine her coming through the crowd saying, excuse me, I need to get by. Excuse me, I need to get by. And she pushed her, and that's how hungry you have to be after the word of God. When it's in your heart. Whatever you believe in God for you, sometimes you're going to have to push through the crowd. Now, everybody wants a blessing, but not many people willing to push through the crowd. Not many people willing to break out of the old situation that they were in to get to the new things that God has for them. I'm telling you, you're going to have to push yourself through the crowd. So you can't just brush up against Jesus. She had to touch the hem of his garment. How did she touch it? She touched it with faith and trust that he could perform everything that the word said. So when she got to Jesus and she reached over and touched the hem of his garment, I want you to know that she didn't ask for permission. I don't want you to know she didn't come in and beg. She didn't come in the back door. She came in the front door and she just touched the hem of his garment. I want you to know the minute she touched the hem of his garment, that activated Jesus' flow of power to heal her right at that very moment. I want you to know that flowing power wants to heal you, but are you willing to push through the crowd? Well, what do you mean, Pastor? Hear the message. Let it get down into your heart. Start to act on it. Believe what it says. Meditate on it day and night. Already see it as reality. Speak what your destiny is. She spoke her destiny into reality, and then she put action with her faith. I need you to stop sitting around, sitting at home, worrying about what's going to happen. Go out and see and look and knock on doors. God, I promise you that when you touch him with faith, he'll touch his flow to open the door, to change the situation, to put you in a better financial position. And after she did it, Jesus said, somebody touch me. And the disciples said, look, all these people in the crowd, you say somebody touched you? Well, he said, yeah, but I felt the power go out. See, she didn't have to get permission. The power went out of him when she touched him with faith. I need you to start touching with faith. Anything that you're going through, whatever it is.